have a standard that you try to work towards.
Yeah. Okay. We are live. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Thimble and Plume. This is our very first YouTube live stream. We've done a Facebook live stream once, but this is my very first YouTube live stream. So welcome. I'm Lelena. I'm with Thimble and Plume, and we're historical reenactors, and our goal is to share the things that we've learned over the years and to empower you to become the best creator that you can be. And that's everything that we try to make happen with the things that we share. We share our mistakes because that's the best way to learn. All right. So I guess I've never done this before. So we'll just kind of give it a minute. I wonder if, sorry, my neighbors are out today. It sounds like I might have to shut the door. They're being kind of loud. Welcome to my life. Oh, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but so it's funny because yesterday I was, so I have a video premiering tomorrow, and I was all dressed up for the reveal to go film the reveal. And I went out there and I was accosted by the neighbor children. And they're, what are you wearing? Why are you a pirate? I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I'm a German Renaissance. I'm not necessarily a pirate, but okay. I guess I could see it. I had a feather in my hat. So maybe that was it. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. Hi, Elisa. Actually, Elisa's sitting here with me too. She's my little helper today. So for those of you who don't know Thimble and Plume, or how, like, the story behind us. So it started out with Malin and I. We are historical reenactors, and we participate in the SCA. And we've done German Renaissance for a long time. And so we've been doing some, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. I got a comment here and I was like reading it. I'm not very good at this yet. I'll get there. Anyway, so we both did historical reenactment. We both loved doing German Renaissance, and we spent a lot of time together. We do things very differently, which can be interesting sometimes, but it also is great. Hi, Liv, and hi, Just Julie. Julie? Anyways, hello, everybody. So Malin and I started Thimble and Plume, and our goal was to share, because we have a lot of people asking us a lot of questions, and so we decided we wanted to share what we were learning. And so we had actually, it's funny thing is we started a Facebook group that is the Lawns Connect Sew Along, because we were just going to do a sew along for a Trossfrau. Like, okay, Yuli. So the second, so we started the Lawns Connect Sew Along. And that is, we're just going to do a Trossfrau dress. And then suddenly we started getting a bunch of people joining, and it became clear that there was really a need for the information that we had. So that's when we decided to start. We wanted to do some patterns, and so we started an Etsy shop, because there's a lot of stuff that we have had to source over the years that it's hard to find, which is very exciting. We actually were able to get in our favorite thread, which took forever. And because it comes from Sweden, and we were able to get that thread. So it's amazing. So I love it. But so we started the Etsy shop, and then we did our first pattern, which was, we started with we started with the Dock and Beret, and we did a Dock and Beret sew along. And I made my first video. and I loved it so much, I decided I wanted, well, it wasn't actually our first video. Our first video was a fitting that we did with a friend on how to drape a Trotzfrau bodice. And that was before we had done any sort of video, and we filmed it vertically, and then our friend who was filming us, her feet are in the shot. It's hilarious. We're like, we're going to be known as the feet girls or something like that. But anyways, so all right, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the actual subject. I wanted to give about 5 minutes before we did that. But anyways, welcome everybody who's here. Pages info into the past. Hello, you made it. Yes, yay, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's talk about German Renaissance hats. So first of all, I want to clarify that when I speak of the German Renaissance, I'm really talking about I'm going to shut my door. All right. Hopefully we won't be disturbed by them anymore. Wow, my lights just got weird. I don't know. I'm using my webcam because I couldn't get my camera to work with this. So anyways, hi Mary, good to see you. Welcome. It's okay, we're just getting started. So, oh, thank you. You love my videos. Thank you so much. Okay, so the German Renaissance typically refers to what I would consider really the first half of the 16th century. A little bit earlier than that, then not quite to the first half, but we'll say that for clarity's sake. And because at around this mid-century, you get a big shift in the clothing. And so what we're focusing on right now is the German Renaissance. So we're focusing on the early part of the 16th century. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about was during this time, we have different categories of hats and headwear. And the first category that I want to talk about, I'm going to do quickly. What I want to do is go through the categories. I am mostly going to be focusing on the berets, and because there's not a lot out there about that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff about Vulstalbes and the Goldhaube. So I wanted to do more of the beret style of family of hats. So let me grab my notes. Okay, so first off, let's talk about, you're going to have your coifs or Haube, and that refers to really any sort of head covering that is just for covering the head. So this, it's pinned on. So this is my Goldhaube, and I have it consisting of two parts, which is kind of a hair cloth situation, and then the actual Goldhaube that sits on the back. And so it also includes hairnets or Haarhaube. And those are worn by both men and women. There also are the spangled headdresses, which are amazing. So that is, and those are typically worn by the Goldhaube and stuff, are worn by the highest in society. Same with the spangled headdresses. And so then moving on from there, we're going to have our veil style headwear. And the veil styles are any time that you have any sort of understructure along with a veil over the top. And this is going to include, I'm going to start with the Vox, which is it's very early on. It's right around the turn of the century, and you have a pleated veil that comes on the front. It may be a separate piece. I haven't done a lot of experimenting with it. You see this a lot in a lot of the house book and the door artwork. I haven't done a lot of experimentation with it. So, but that's very early. So you have the pleated front, and then it kind of comes down. A lot of times you'll see the braids, and then the little frill hanging out the back here. So that is, and then moving on from that, we're going to let's talk about the Schleier next. Or sorry, the Schleier is the veil. I want to talk about the Stücklein. Now the Stücklein, we don't see a lot of people doing. Most of what we see people doing in reenactment circles is the Vulstalbe. So the Stücklein is more of a shaped veil that doesn't do much wrapping. It could be, it's a more structured look. You see this a lot where on the very few times we have some back images of portraits. I wish I could share my screen, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So you just have to go off of my word here. And so I will be doing more videos about all this stuff that I'll go into more detail. So the Schuhlein is a very structured look, and a lot of times you'll see a little spangled piece at the back, almost like a little bling for their headwear. That also includes the Vulstalbe. So the Vulstalbe, we have underneath here is the Vulstalbe, and it's basically the roll that sits at the back of the head. There's so much conjecture over what it could be. It could be reed, it could be stuffed roll, it could be fake braids, it could be actual braids, and it's probably all of the above, honestly. I think it's kind of like in fashion today, like you see what somebody else is doing, so you try to recreate it yourself, and the way you do it is the way that you figure out how to do it. So I imagine that's probably what happened back then too. So this consists of, it has the roll and the schleier, which is the veil, and then the way that you wrap the veil has different names. So this particular is the Bündlein, and the Bündlein has the part of the veil coming down over your chin, or you can do it like this, which is fantastic for today when you have to go to an event and wear a mask. So got to do that one. It's fantastic. All right. So that's the Bündlein. And then if you don't, and then you could just not wrap it, and then it just becomes a Vulstalbe construction. Okay. So I think that's, yeah. So then moving on, now we're going to talk about the Beret and Schlapp. Actually, before we do that, I want to talk about, so what we're not going to talk about much today is what's called Hoots. And Hoot are basically structured hats that you think of that are felted and that are shaped. So those come a little bit later. So